Welcome to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show. For this Friday morning, the 11th, no, it's not the 11th, it's the 9th of January. I don't want to speed it up. It goes fast enough as it is. And talking about that, it seems like yesterday was the 29th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Celebration. We're about to celebrate the 30th on January 19th, and we're going to talk about that this morning with a couple of guests, members of the Iota Chi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. First of all, we have with us my buddy Smallwood Holloman. Did you bring the hot dogs?
Not lately.
It's a joke between us.
Good morning, Art. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Smallwood. And another friend who I serve with on the Crime Council, and we say good morning to Eddie Fox.
Good morning, Art. Glad to be here.
Glad to see both of you. Before we get started on the celebration and the life of Dr. King and what it means to the community, give us a little history of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, one of us can do it, I guess.
Don't fight now. Just
we'll
do it.
somebody
All
speak.
right.
Well, I'll start, and Small would probably give more details. I'm going from memory. You know, Alpha Phi Alpha we started our fraternity in 1906, Cornell University. That's where 7 young men got together and formed a fraternity.
At Cornell University.
Cornell, in New York. That's where we originated. And some of the people who had a prerequisite of the Alpha Alpha was I'll let you take over.
Oh, already? All right. Well, we've had, since that time, we've had a number of, I'll say, very exciting people who joined our fraternity. And actually, we go back, Eddie and I a while back were studying about the Niagara movement, which occurred back in 1906. W.E.B. Du Bois was one of the founders of that organization. And actually, it was sort of an inspiration that he felt that helped to trigger the movement of those 7 men on Cornell's campus to form Alpha Phi Alpha.
Now, it's a national organization.
It's national, actually.
Every state?
International organization. Yeah, we have. I think we have about 300,000 members worldwide.
Is it a fraternity on campus or is it post education?
Yes. And
good.
yes, yeah, we started with the emphasis on campuses, but it wasn't too long. We discovered that these guys graduate on campus, and we form what we call our alumni chapters, Lambda chapters for Alpha Phi Alpha. Now, you naturally, once you've graduated from college, you can naturally be part of a alumni group, but also the alumni groups look around in their community to find out what are men who fit our mantra of service to the community. And
so it's a service organization.
It's a service organization. So you will find a number of those who did not get into the organization on campus. We bring them in the alumni area. So, yeah, we I think 730 chapters in the U.S. and world, and I mentioned 300,000 men who grace this planet and continue the service mantra as we do from the beginning.
Since we are a service organization, and after college, men continue to want to serve. Even college campuses do projects in their local communities where the colleges are located. In Saginaw, Iota Chi Lambda, we celebrate our 51st year here in Saginaw. Okay, and some of the leaders in Saginaw that's been part of our chapter, like you remember Henry Marsh, Joe Stevens.
I knew Henry well.
Steve Robertson, quite a few brothers, and even Larry Crawford was one of the mayors. He was also a member of Iota Chi Lambda chapter here in Saginaw. So, and we continue to provide service to the community, maybe through our chapter on itself, or with collaboration with other organizations within Saginaw County.
Yeah, not to digress too much, but you mentioned Henry Marsh. Henry was one of the most unique individuals and intellectual individuals I think I ever met in my life.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have dinner, and it was like going to class with Henry. I mean,
right.
You sat down and Okay, Henry, it's yours.
Yeah,
and his wife. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we both have had the pleasure of meeting Henry, and fascinating guy. And he is one of many examples across the nation of alpha men being involved. And most of the major cities, you probably find alpha men, if not part of just a council, their mayors and so forth. And
I mean, you guys held prominent positions in work. You were, by training, a chemist, right?
That is correct.
But then they moved you up into administration in Dow.
Yeah, they did. I loved molecules, and people were a challenge.
Some people would say we're molecules.
Yeah, I was fortunate at Dow to have a variety of responsibilities, technical responsibility, but yet I got to experience what it's like to work with people and help them grow into great people. And
Eddie, what did you do for General Motors?
Yeah, I worked for General Motors. I started at Buick Motor Division, if you imagine, when Buick was down there on Industrial, that big long mile.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I started as a manufacturing supervisor, matriculated to industrial engineer, manufacturing engineering. I moved here in Saginaw as a manufacturing engineer or a product engineer.
Is that your background?
Yeah. Yes, engineering. I went to North Carolina A&T, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University in Greensboro, North Carolina, which probably you've heard about. So that's the college I went to.
So explain to me something. By training, you're a chemist, Smallwood, and you actually used your degree.
Yes.
You're an engineer, Eddie, by training.
Yes.
You actually used your degree.
Yes.
I'm an engineer by training. Where did I go wrong?
You started with the wrong organization. Maybe that was it. I feel very fortunate. With chemistry, when I was in college, undergrad, I did a lot of research there. Most of it was on bio research, trying to understand the relationship with hypertension and your organs in the body, and where those trigger that situation. And I studied that for about 2 years.
Did you ever consider becoming a researcher in that field?
Yes, I did. I really did. I was a heartbeat from going to Columbia University.
My hometown.
Oh, really? Okay.
New York, right?
Yeah, to continue studying. And I got interviewed by Dow Chemical that same year right after, and they flashed a few dollars. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. No, but there were many opportunities to do research here. Now, it wasn't necessarily for me in the bio area, but I just enjoyed research. The give and take of research, because it's one you better have a little patience, because you won't invent something right away.
We used to kid in the chemical engineering program. There were guys like you in the lab.
Yeah.
Researching all these products in your test tubes.
Yes.
And then when you found the product, came to us to figure out how to make it bigger.
You got it.
Bigger and better, yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's the role. That's the role that we all took. And I'll say my years at Dow, I worked with a lot of engineers, mechanical, chemical. And believe me, Dow would not be successful if it wasn't this sort of migration of the ideas and initial start.
You have to have that.
And how in the world do you scale it up? And that was their job, and did a great job.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take a break, come back, and we're actually going to talk about the 30th anniversary of the Dr. Martin Luther King Unity Celebration in Saginaw on the 19th. We'll tell you more about it when we return.
The old saying, the bitterness of pork.
Dr. Martin Luther King Unity Celebration. So let's talk about that celebration after we answer the phone. No, that's all right. Don't worry about it, because mine's on, too.
I thought I muted that thing.
Well, that's all right. I never mute mine, and sometimes it goes off.
I bought a new watch. I don't know how to handle it.
Mine beeps, too, and same thing. Let me ask, and I know I've asked you this before, Smallwood. What did Dr. Martin Luther King mean to the African-American community?
Well, let's just say back during the 50s and the 60s, life was not a crystal staircase. Locally in cities around the U.S., there were laws against persons of color to participate in a lot of things. And Dr. King recognized that, and he just had this mantra as a minister that God created all of us the same, and we should have somewhat the same rights. Dr. King began, a movement that says, we need to get the same respect that all get here in America, and our Constitution says it. So to myself and to others during that time period and beyond, he was sort of the leader that helped remind us that we're human beings who should have the same rights here in this country as anyone else. And so Dr. King recognized that we need to get the laws changed. He knew it had been a battle to try to change the hearts of people, but to get laws changed. So to me, and I say to the community, he was sort of the leader. I mean, he was the one we listened to.
Well, it always seemed to me, in listening to Dr. King, the thing that propelled him to the forefront was his oratorial skills, his ability to orate, to speak what was on his mind in a clear and pretty dramatic way sometimes. He had that ability to put that message out there, and you walked away remembering it.
Yeah. That was a blessing that he had. But, the changes that took place didn't have anything to do with his eloquence. He had some smart people around him who knew how to work with local municipalities and national.
Yeah. Well, he was a Baptist preacher, part of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and there's a lot of people involved in that, and they chose him to be the leader. Back in the day, it was kind of dangerous to be a head of an organization trying to change civil rights, and also lead people. Yes, in the South. That's what it was in the South. So he was in Atlanta, Montgomery, Alabama, and those areas. It's but he spoke up, became a leader, and like you said, he was a good oratorical person. Made some very good speeches on that behalf, and he changed the thinking of a lot of people that things need to change in this country.
Well, it was obvious back then they needed to change.
Yes.
And, his ability to speak the way he did not only caught the attention of his race, but caught the attention of everybody else.
Right. And it was great that other religious organizations agreed with him and joined him in some of the civil rights issues that he was fighting for. That made a difference.
If he were alive today, what would he say about where we are as a nation?
Dr. King talked about civil rights here in the United States. He talked about civil rights abroad. Some of the things that we're going, the trail that we're going down with Donald Trump, we are not only considered the peacemakers of the world, which we were, which now we kind of diverting ourselves from that. People look to the United States as a country of leadership, peace, support, help developing countries. Now are we going to taking over countries, taking their natural resources and doing all that other things? But I think he would be disturbed by some of the trends that's going on today.
What would he say about race relations?
Well, race relations, that's a good one there. There have been efforts, unfortunately, that have divided us more now than we have in the past.
Are they on racial lines or are they on political lines?
Yes.
Both?
Yeah. Okay. I think they're actually on both. There have been situations where racial groups have been targeted. These are groups that aren't contributing to this nation, and then clearly on political grounds, there are some big differences that are going on. But back to sort of the original thought, if Dr. King were here, he would have a plate full of issues to deal with, because he believed deeply in peace. He was anti-war. I mean, he got in trouble with our country because He did not agree with the Vietnam War or any of those kinds of conflicts. So he's going to be on your list because he doesn't like our intervention to keep war alive, in a sense. But yeah, and racially, he would see some stepping back, because he worked hard to get the Voters' Rights Act going on, and now there are political efforts to try to dismantle that, and there have been some successes, unfortunately, even through the Supreme Court. So, he would have a lot of heartache now, but he proved even during his short time he was on Earth that he can identify and gather the right people, so that, number one, and you pointed out beautifully that his oratorial skills were second to none. Most people like me had to get a dictionary to try to understand what he was saying.
You're not alone.
But he knew how to communicate. He knew how to communicate at several levels of a person's life, and but I think he also was just a great organizer. He had the right people around him. We knew where to go, where in our legislative system to go in order to get some changes made. So, today, and I've answered that question to you over a span of maybe 10 years. Yeah, and I think it seems to be appropriate because I remember one year I was very optimistic. He'd say, great, because he'd point to person A, he may point to Eddie. Eddie has moved through the GM system, and look where he is today. And these people are now heads of organizations, and that's a good thing to have. But I think basic rights that appear to be under attack, he'd be extremely disappointed and would be mobilizing groups to address it.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Well, I would just continue to say, that governments are set up to provide for the people, okay? And sometimes we look at people in poverty, people below the poverty line, as if they are people of color, black people or brown people, what have you. And they aren't, like the Affordable Care Act.
Poverty is poverty.
Why aren't we giving people better health care at a low cost? That's what that effort was to do. We sort of modeled it after a model in Massachusetts.
Yeah, but that model didn't work.
That model didn't work because some of the politicians, when they're trying to put it together, start stripping things out of it. It would have worked if they left things in it that was in there in the beginning. We start stripping things from the Affordable Care Act that say, it don't work, because we took stuff out. Look back at when they started it. Because I think people need health care, and we should give it to them at a reasonable price so that, people can stay healthy. When we have a pandemic like COVID, people needed that care, because if you have it, and I don't, but you'll give it to me if you're not treated. But we need to have you the ability to get yourself treated and cured of whatever issue you may have. And we're getting down to whether or not kids should be immunized against certain diseases that we've been doing forever. And now we're saying we're backing off of that without any.
That's a whole other.
It is. That goes off too. Those kind of political issues, I think that he would be concerned about, along with other issues that our legislature is not covering.
So the celebration, and when I have to take a break and we'll come back to it. It's called a Unity Celebration.
Yes.
We'll talk about that. When we return, Smallwood Holloman and Eddie Fox, our guests this morning here on WSGW.
For 60 years, West.
And we're back with you in Studio Midway from the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, the Iota Chi Lambda chapter. We have Eddie Fox and Smallwood Holloman. Coming up on the 19th is the 30th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Celebration. So let's talk about the celebration and the various components of it.
Okay, I'm going to get started. First of all, we've done it for 30 years, and the two components is a luncheon and a march, a commemorative civil rights march. We've done the civil rights march for 30 years, and because the one way of peaceful protests have been in this country is through march, and the civil rights movement had those. So we do a commemorative civil rights march here in Saginaw on the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King. Our march will start on the 19th. We'll start at it's only about 15 minutes, okay, because it's usually very, very cold because it's in January. It's on the 19th. We start we start assembling at 9:30, 9:45 at the corner of Franklin Street and Hayden Street here in Saginaw, and we will march from there to the Dow Event Center.
Straight shot north.
Straight shot, very short, 15 minutes. And at the end, we'll have a rally to discuss the Civil Rights Movement and Dr. Martin Luther King. Participants in the march are citizens of the United States of Saginaw. Politicians is usually there. The police department march with us. Chief Ruth Bringus spoke out. The sheriff participates in that march, which is very nice that they're there. We have youth groups.
State police, because I rode with
them. Oh, that's right. State police. And they support that march and see that there is a need for that civil rights movement and try to recognize what the accomplishments have been. And the people who participate, Delta College participates with their students, Saginaw Valley participates with their
there
students.
Were quite a number of people.
Yeah. And youth groups from different nonprofit organizations, sororities and fraternities, they also participate. And they bring their banners out to show that they're in support of this organization. So everybody's welcome. The march is free.
Starts at what time?
We're going to start promptly at 10 a.m. That's why I said we're similar to 9:30. And we'll march over to the Dow Event Center, have a rally there, then we'll end the rally and move into a luncheon.
And now let's talk about the luncheon and who attends and what it costs and all that stuff.
Sure. Well, I'm going to also mention this march. We're going to have cocoa and coffee for you guys, just to keep your hands and fingers at least as warm as we can. But yeah, so as the march terminates there at the Dow Event Center, you come inside to the Unity Hall where we will have our luncheon. We have a guest speaker coming to us from out of Detroit. He's a minister at Oak Grove AME Church. His name is Reverend Andre Spivey, and he's the executive minister there at Oak Grove AME Church. We've given him the theme, and this is our theme for this celebration. Mission Possible, protecting freedom, justice, and democracy in the spirit of nonviolence. And Eddie mentioned that the marches, Dr. King used the marches as a nonviolent way to communicate to both the community and others. And, of course, there was resistance down south where the marches went on, but that was his way of saying, we want change, and we're not going to try to burn your house down to achieve it. So Dr. Spivey's going to speak, and we're going to begin that part of the program, the luncheon program itself around 11 o'clock.
At 11, yes.
And during the program, a couple of things are going to happen. We're going to give some recognitions to citizens in our community who we believe address Dr. King's philosophy on service. So receiving our Dr. King Unity Award will be Dr. Eugene and Lady Joyce Seals. They have a foundation, Family Foundation. They do a variety of things for the community. They have a summer camp. They give scholarship. So we've recognized them as beacons of hope. That Dr. King's philosophy on service hasn't died here in this region. Delta College is going to be presenting their Spirit of Dr. King Award to Mr. Darren Johnson. Mr. Johnson is Associate Director of Recruitment and Employee Development there at Delta College. So we're excited to continue our partnership with Delta. So we've given them also the platform to present their award. We also have one more award that we give to a fraternity member for their service. And right now, I'm not going to tell you who that's going to be, but we call our award the Pete Gaddis Service Award. We're going to have a major announcement at our meeting tomorrow. We have a fraternity meeting tomorrow, and the chair will make that announcement tomorrow. So I don't want to preempt his. I mean, they may kick me out of the fraternity if I did that.
Oh, tell me, I won't tell anybody.
Oh, I'm sure. No, only 40,000 people or 80,000 people that you have as your friends right now. So, but we will be giving that award to a fraternity member for their service to both the fraternity, and we also look at what they do in the community. This in 2025, we identified high school students for scholarship. We gave $1,000 scholarship to 3 young men in the community. And since we've gotten their permission, we can give you their names. Aubrey Laffoon. I can't quite read his name right now. Xavier Laffoon. He's a student was a student at SASA and now is attending, I believe, Kalamazoo College. The other recipient was Julian Morris. He's a student at SASA and now I believe is at Michigan State University or University of Michigan. Yeah, one of those little schools south of us. And Michael Baldwin, also a graduate from the Saginaw United School, and he's attending West Virginia University. So in 2025, we identified those three young men and sent them off with a little money to help them with their schooling, and we look forward to doing that again this year.
What's the cost to attend the luncheon?
The cost to attend for adults is $60. $60 per person, and you get this scrumptious meal of something good. I won't go through the menu, but you get a full course meal from the Dow Event Center staff, and they do an outstanding job.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And if we have student groups who are interested in attending,
they can contact us. Yeah.
They can contact us, and we give them a discounted ticket for attending. Because
when we say contact, is there a website or Facebook, or where is the contact information?
Well, I'm going to give you contact information for because we've got about a week and a half, and I will be one of the contacts. Eddie Fox will be one of the contacts, and I can give you our phone number here. I'm sure you have a website, but for me, it'd be area code 989-859-2602.
And my number, you get it 989-860-4146.
All right, so to contact Smallwood, 989-859-2602. Contact Eddie at 989-860-4146.
Yes.
Take a break, come back, one more segment with our guests. But again, it is the 19th of January, a Monday. March begins at 10 a.m. from Franklin and Hayden. And we'll march down to the event center. And then, of course, the luncheon follows. There's a rally outside first, if I remember right.
Yes, at the end of the march, yes.
All right. We will take a break, and we will be back. With you, and in the studio with me is Smallwood Holloman and Eddie Fox from the Iota Chi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Again, January 19th, Monday, it's only a couple of days away,
right,
is the 30th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Celebration in Saginaw. And the speaker, the Reverend Andre Spivey, and he is an attorney from Oak Grove AME in Detroit, and should be interesting. What's he going to talk about?
Well, and again, back to our theme, Mission Impossible, or Mission Possible. I believe he's going to give us a very optimistic tone that both our freedoms, justice, and other aspects of our life, I know he's going to lift us up and say, hey, there are some people who are feeling hopeless about some of the things going on today, and he's going to lift our spirits up. That nope, don't be dismayed, but don't go crazy either. So that's what I expect from him. I've heard him speak once, but these are on different topics. But Reverend Spivey is a very inspiring young man. He actually has some ties here to Saginaw. He married a young lady
is that right?
that lived here in Saginaw, yes. And so he loves coming back to this town.